Hi, hello, welcome back to Active Player Network. My name is Anne Richmond. I am your host, and today I'm going to take you on a tour through the big city. After we build it, that is. In Cities Skylines, the board game from Thames and Kosmos. The game got its start back in 2015 as a video game and has gone on to be a best-selling city-building sim. Thames and Kosmos is bringing it to the wild world of tabletop. And they've given us here at APN the go-ahead to give you an overview of the game so you know what to expect when you pick it up at your friendly local game store. Cities Skylines supports 1 to 4 players who all work cooperatively to develop a piece of communal land into a bustling metropolis, achieve milestones, and most importantly, keep their citizens happy. The game features a variety of layered scenarios, with each building on top of the previous one's features, including different board setups, new building features, and more. Plus, each scenario only takes about half an hour to play, which is pretty clutch. Now, when the game ends, you'll achieve a happiness score, which you can compare against the success table provided to you in the rulebook. For our overview today, we're going to walk you through setup for the introductory scenario, and then we'll take you through the basic turn sequence. We'll let you explore the rest of the game after that on your own. To get started, you'll need to find the appropriate game boards for your scenario and lay them out on the table. If you can see letters on the boards, then they're facing the right way. Next, find the administration board and set it next to the game boards, along with the 8 administration markers set on their respective tracks at 0 population. The administration board helps you keep track of how well your city is doing in a variety of categories, and that includes utilities, power, water, garbage, your city's available working population, the quality of life for your citizens measured by pollution, traffic, and crime, and of course, the overall happiness of the people who live in your town. Next, deposit your city's starting capital at 12 money in your city treasury on the administration board. Set aside the rest to form a stockpile. After that, sort all the zone and building tiles according to shape and color and set them aside as well. Next, you're going to shuffle the construction cards for stage 1 and deal each player a number of cards based on how many players you have in the game. If we're setting up for a 2-player game, for example, you're going to deal each player 5 cards. And remember, the game is cooperative, so you can just lay them face up on display so everybody can see what's going on. Next, place the remaining stage 1 cards face down, and you're going to go ahead and create similar shuffled piles for stage 2 and stage 3, with each of these creating their own separate piles. Finally, place the skyline tile next to the administration board with these chips on the 2 numerical scales, which are used to track your overall happiness during the game. The youngest player at the table then takes the starting player token. This is represented by the Cities Skylines mascot, Chirper, as well as the end of a milestone overview card. And now, you're ready to start building your city. To begin, players will decide together on which of the face-down boards they would like to begin building their city, and then go ahead and pay the cost from the city treasury to flip the board over. On each game board, you'll see a grid of squares, which is where you'll begin placing. As the first active player, the player with the starter token Chirper will take one of 3 possible actions on their turn, and then proceeding in a clockwise order around the table, each player after them will make 1 action as well. The 3 actions you can choose from on your turn are to exchange a construction card to change the options available for future turns as it proceeds around the table, or you could use a construction card to add something to your city, or you end a milestone to expand the city's developed land. However, you gotta remember this is simultaneously moving you 1 step closer to the conclusion of the game. Now, exchanging a construction card is easy. You simply pay 2 money from the city treasury to place 1 card in your hand face up next to the 3 construction card decks to create the exchange pile. Then you'll take a new card into your hand from any of the 3 decks, or you can choose from any of the cards previously placed in the exchange pile. Keep in mind, those higher stage cards will absolutely give you increased rewards, but they are much more costly to play. When playing a construction card, there are 2 types of cards to be aware of. First are cards which feature service or utility buildings, and second are colored cards which represent residential, commercial, and industrial zones. Whichever card type you play, you'll take the matching tile indicated on that card and add it to your city. In the case of the zone cards, you can take any tile in the matching category and play it. But that tile has to fit into your city squares available. It can't block off a road or fall off the end of the game board. However, you can rotate it however you need to in order to make sure it has the perfect fit. Now, service and utility buildings will require you to pay the indicated amount of money from the city treasury. For example, if you'd like to play this medicine clinic, you'll need to pay 1 money and your city's overall happiness will go up by 1. Placing zones won't cost you any money, but it will have various impacts on your city. For example, if you'd like to place this residential zone, you'll immediately adjust both water and employment capacities on the administration board down and up by 1 respectively, because your city now has more people in it, but that means it also consumes more. Then, if that new residential zone just happens to be right next to that healthcare service building, you'll also earn 1 money for your trouble. Some service buildings simply need to be in the same district as a placed zone to provide their benefits. Districts are bordered by a street or the edge of the board, and each district can only contain 1 utility building. So, proper planning and strategizing on the placement of your zones and the utility buildings within them is a huge part of the game, and of course, optimizing your city's overall happiness score. Now, after you play a construction card, you're going to be able to draw a new card from any of the stage decks that are face down, or any from the exchange pile. The final option on your turn is to end a milestone. This option is only available if there is at least 1 tile in each district of your city. When taking this action, grab the Chirper starter token and follow the steps outlined on the end of a milestone overview card. First, check your utilities on the administration board for any marker that is below 0. For each step below 0, you'll be subtracting that many steps from the overall happiness meter, but don't adjust the utilities themselves. Then you'll apply the current happiness value from the administration board to the skyline tile. You're going to move the marker up or down to either add or subtract happiness from it. Like with the utilities, don't adjust the marker on the happiness bar, only those on the skyline tile. Next, check the position of your employment marker on the administration board. Your goal here is to be at exactly 0, representing full employment in your city. Each step below 0 represents a shortage of laborers, and each step above represents a shortage of jobs. Either way, you're going to need to spend 1 money from the city treasury for each step you are above or below 0 on the employment bar, but do not adjust the employment marker. Now it's time to expand your city by selecting one of the other face-down game boards and paying its cost to the treasury. This provides you with new land to construct new buildings and zones, and it can grow the size of your pre-existing districts. Finally, each player may exchange any number of construction cards from their hand and place them in the exchange pile, and drawing that many cards to replace them. However, each card exchanged during this step does cost 1 money from the city's treasury. Once each player has had the opportunity to pay to exchange cards at the end of a milestone, then play continues as normal. So, how does it end? Well, the game ends when one of the following events occurs. 1, happiness on the administration board reaches -5, or the overall happiness on the skyline board goes to a whopping -10. Number 2, costs must be paid from the treasury, but there ain't no money left. Number 3, all 3 construction card decks are empty, and therefore the next player must end the current milestone as the action on their turn. Or 4, you end a milestone on your turn while all game boards are placed face up, and there are at least 2 tiles of any kind in each district. After resolving your final end of milestone steps, you subtract the total number steps from your pollution, traffic, and crime bars from your overall happiness, and then check that success table to see how you did. And that, my precious city administrators, is everything you need to know in order to play your first scenario of Cities Skylines. In later scenarios, you'll find unique building types to add to the mix, including sports arenas or opera houses. And of course, you'll get role cards giving each player unique abilities to use during gameplay, policy cards which will give you special one-time benefits to use, and news cards which introduce ongoing disadvantages to the game that you'll need to work together to work around. So hopefully that gives you an idea of what you can explore when you pick up your copy of Cities Skylines at your friendly local game store on October 25th. As always, thanks for watching, thanks for playing. If you liked what you saw, please do give us a like, share with your friends, subscribe, click that bell, and anything else you can think of to support the channel. We love you guys, and we'll see you next time right here on Active Player Network.